How's it going, everyone? Virtually Chris here. In today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the Lycaon GR, which is a new competitor entering the electric skateboarding community, and I'm excited to be trying out their board here. It goes for $550 with free shipping. It has a top speed of 26 miles an hour, which I don't know if I believe yet. We're going to be testing that out in this video. Most budget boards usually go 22 miles an hour, maybe 20 in real world use. And it also has a claimed range of 23 miles an hour, which is also, yet again, super high. Higher than most budget boards, definitely, especially for $550. So we're also going to be doing a speed test throughout this whole video. So that being said, let's unbox the board. The board comes in 2 boxes, which is always good for shipping internationally. And getting into that second box, we have the board itself, front and center, but we'll move that off to the side for now. In the accessories box, the first thing you get is the charger, and this charger is 1.5 amps, so it's actually kind of a slow charger, but you do get a lot of other things in the box, so I'm not complaining. It comes with an interesting tail light. It also comes with a skate tool, and also a tool to remove the hubcaps of the motors. Speaking of hubcaps, you get these really weird rose gold hubcaps if you want to replace the ones that come pre-installed on the board. Hey, I guess it's an option. You also get the remote itself, and this remote is super interesting. It has a really weird feel. Everything about it is just really unique, and I'm sure I'll get more into the remote a little bit later. And of course, you get the charging cable for the remote, and there's a user manual in there as well. Back to the board, it has a really nice grip tape design. I think it's nice how the logo's centered, and it has a little arrow in front to indicate that the board is facing the right way because it does have a symmetrical deck. And looking at the bottom, we have the metal enclosures. Both of these are metal and seem very durable. I really like the graphic on the bottom, and there's also a rubber seal around both the battery case and the ESC case, so I doubt any water will get in there easily. First impressions of the Lycaon GR, it has a very interesting remote. I've never seen anything like it or felt anything like it. It kind of has that jerky nature of some of the older ESCs from Meepo. It's not a Hobby Wing ESC or anything like that, but yet it doesn't have any delay like those old ESCs had. So what you get is a pretty responsive ride, albeit like a little bit steppy, especially on the brakes. When you engage the brakes at the first time, they'll jerk you a little bit, but it's actually not that jerky compared to those older ESCs. And it's nice that it's configurable. You can configure the brake curve as well as the speed curve. And I also don't think it accelerates as quick as something like the Backfire G2T or the WowGo 3, but it does accelerate pretty fast on the high plus mode, and it definitely gets up to speed pretty quickly from 0. So maybe that 0 to 15 mile an hour range, it does get there pretty quickly. I also really like the bushings on this board and the amount of flex. The ride is very comfortable. I've been riding it for a few miles now, and I think it's a really comfortable ride, surprisingly. Even though it seems to use the same hub motors as something like the Backfire G2T, like that same manufacturer. For whatever reason, paired with this deck, you don't really get any vibration in the deck. So it ends up being a really smooth experience. So let's go ahead and do the speed test of the Lycaon GR. It has a claimed top speed of 26 miles an hour. Let's see if that's true or not in real world use. So we finished the speed test, and a little bit disappointing, it's not 26 miles an hour. It is more like 22 miles an hour, maybe 21. I kind of hovered around 21 to 22 miles an hour. And I've tried it on multiple different road scenarios, so I really do think that's where the ESC tops out there, which isn't really too bad. That falls in line with other Chinese electric skateboards in this price range, so not too bad. The range is something I'm still really curious about, and I've been riding so far about 8 or 9 miles, and it's been looking good. It's not even at half charge yet, so I'll keep you guys posted on the range. One thing I love from this type of ESC is that it has the locking feature. So when you're holding down the brake and you're on a flat surface, it'll lock up, and that means it really won't inch forward at all. This is something I wish my Inertian Raptor 2 had. It's a really great feature there. Another thing I like about this speed controller remote combo is that it has cruise control. I know not a lot of people would use cruise control, but it's kind of neat if you're hanging out with your buddies and you just want to go consistent speed. And one thing I do not like, unfortunately, from this ESC is when you go over a pretty big bump, you will notice that the motors kind of stall for a second. They go a little bit slower. This is something the original Meepo had a problem with. And it's not too bad on this board, probably because the battery is pretty decent and the voltage sag isn't too bad, at least so far, is what I think. But it is there, so just know if you go over a large bump, you kind of get a little jolt. You get thrown off a little bit, but obviously you just compensate for it. It's no big deal. So I'm going to keep riding, and I'll let you guys know how far this board goes. The Lycaon GR ended up going 17.4 miles on a charge. That's pretty impressive for a board at this price range. I'm used to boards like the Wildgo 3 or the Backfire G2T. Those go like roughly 8 or 9 miles per charge. So this is kind of almost double that, which is really, really nice. And I went further than I ever have before on one of these Chinese boards. I went all the way down the bike path and all the way back. It was super awesome. That's a little bit less than the website claims, which was 23 miles per charge. But overall, I'm really impressed. That's a really long range for a board like this. With that being said, it does have a 7.5 amp hour battery to it, which is pretty good. Most budget boards will have a 4.4 amp hour battery, so right there you're almost doubling the amount of battery capacity, which would explain the range pretty well. Concluding thoughts on the Lycaon board, I think it is a really good board for the price. It offers really good range, so if you really want that extra range in a budget board, then I would definitely go with this one out of all the other ones. It has a funky ESC and remote combo, but I ended up growing to like it pretty much. It's pretty good. It's very, very close to being on par with the Hobby Wing in terms of smoothness. Not too bad there. I love the design of the board. I always have. I think the deck is sweet. It has the perfect amount of flex, as I've said before. Overall, a really comfortable, long ride, which is awesome. So it's definitely a thumbs up for me on this board. Check it out in the link in the video description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!